All right, Art 1. So we are going to jump into some graphic design. And in graphic design, we're going to talk about layers, vectors, points, and just how do we create something online and for free software. So in this tutorial, you're going to learn about vector and how to do a gradient and how to also log into vector. So in Google, type in vector, no R, so VECTR.com. And then I'll bring you to this screen. Then you're going to go in the top right and you're going to hit login. And if you are new to Vector, then you're going to come to this screen, and it might take you a few steps extra than mine since I have already created an account with Vector. So I'm going to click login with Google. Going to click my school account, or if you want to use a personal one, that is fine. And then usually after this step, it might ask you to create a username, whatever it is, you just type in something there just to get past it. And then it will come to this screen, which is your file page. And on your file page is all of your saved projects that you've ever created. So I'm going to go ahead and go create file. If it did not bring you to the screen, it might have brought you to a screen of a new page. So you might already be there. But if not, you're going to hit create file in the top left. And it will bring you to this screen. So if this is where it brought you when you first signed in, great. One thing I want you to always check when you're on Vector, sometimes it glitches on us, is sometimes in the bottom of this screen, it will ask you to log in to save your project. Always make sure that is not there so that your projects save automatically. Otherwise, if it says that you're not logged in, you need to go and log in because everything you do will not be saved and it will be lost. And if it also asks you to go through a tutorial, you can go ahead and skip that because I am going to kind of walk you through some things. So in this tutorial, you're going to learn how to do a gradient. And on the left side are all of your tools. So we have a rectangle, a round rectangle, a circle or an ellipse, your pen tool, which we will use a lot, your pencil tool, which we will probably not use a lot because we are using a mouse on our laptop or computer. If you are on an iPad, then maybe your pencil tool is best if you are able to use your finger or an Apple Pencil or stylus. We have a text tool and an upload image button as well. And then here we have more shapes in case we want to choose other ideas rather than this typical rectangle and circle. So first I'm going to go ahead and click on a rectangle, or you can pick any shape. And then I'm going to just kind of fill in the screen. So in this, it's already pre-filled with a color. So on the right side, you'll notice all of our options to do with this shape or creation we just put on our page. And to know if it's on the page is you will see this black line border of your rectangle. That is the border of your document. If you were to drag your objects outside of it, you'll notice that it will have it just kind of fades away or is transparent. So that tells you that whatever is off or outside of this rectangular border of our document, it will be cropped off and you will not see it. So it kind of creates nice clean edges. So if you ever create something that is fully wanting to be the background, or you want a nice crisp edge on the edge of your document, just better safe than not is just to always have it go extra outside of your page borders. So that's just one quick tip. So our rectangle is filled with a color, and it tells you that it is just a flat color in the background option on the right side. If I click on color, you'll notice color. I can fill this with an image if I want, linear gradient, and radial gradient. This box next to that is our color swatch. So I can move this around to any color I want. I can click over here on the side as well if I want to change a completely different color. This code down here is for advanced graphic designers. Every color has its own code or number or coordinates of where that color is on the spectrum of the color wheel. Don't really have to worry about that here. And then we have the eyedropper tool, which we will talk a lot about later. So for now, we are going to select a linear gradient. And a linear gradient will automatically turn it from black to white. So a gradient is like a value scale, goes from dark to light in some direction. So if I want to change it from from not white and black, I just pick a color on the side over here. And that changes the color on the top. So wherever this dot is, if I move that, it moves my change in color. So above this dot is just a flat pink, and then below it is that actual gradient. So it's almost like this is my sky and this is my ground. Okay, so that is the basics of a linear gradient. If I want to change this color down here, the black, I just have to select over here by clicking on that dot of what color I want to be there. And I click up here what color I want to be up there. So if I want it to be white, I just kind of pull my color all the way in the top left corner. Okay, so there's a linear gradient. Go ahead and pull another shape next to that. And we're going to stick with the linear gradient. So I'm going to go ahead and select linear gradient. Go ahead and choose a color. I'm going to go ahead and go with blue on this one. Okay. Say you want to have more than one color in this linear gradient. So say like you're doing like a sunset, or it's just something that has extra colors in the mix, like a rainbow or whatnot. You can click anywhere on this line, the axis in the center, to insert a color. So I'm going to click in the middle, and I'm going to choose green to go in there. And then maybe I want to click up here, and up there I want it to go a pink or red. And maybe down here, do more of a purple. And then maybe at the top, I want to do a bit of yellow. And I can also move these around and slide them. So say I want more purple, or I want more green in there. Just kind of slide, and however what the gap is, that is where the color will still show. Okay, so there is a linear gradient but with multiple colors. Next we have a radial gradient. And radial gradient is kind of like a ball or a sphere. It is like when we're shading a sphere and we have a shiny spot that makes something feel round. So in the colors selection, you're going to select radial gradient, and it will show kind of like a sunshine circular gradient that wraps around. If I click on the color box on the right, it will then show this big circle that shows that in the center of this big circle is the brightest spot. And if I move this center point of the circle, it moves where that light goes. It's almost like a flashlight shining. Okay. You can also see that it has the radius. So radius is half the dimension of the circle. If we were to go all the way across, that is the diameter. But right now, this is the radius. So if I want my circle to be smaller, I just grab the outer dot of the circle on that line, and I can move it around. Okay, and then I can also change the color. So say I want my black to be a different color. I pick the outermost dot, and I change that. Actually, maybe I want to go for a bit of a green here. And then I can also do the same thing with this linear gradient I did, is anywhere I click on this line, I can then insert a color, or I can also squeeze that smaller shine spot. It's kind of like it's the same thing as this dot does. So maybe I want to insert a little bit of blue as well. Okay, so those are gradients, and you can do gradients on any shape as well. So say I use the pen tool and I just make a crazy shape, which you will do this later. I hit the background check mark, and it does have a border on it. So here you can kind of unclick border or have a border. And then I can still do a linear gradient inside of other shapes that I make. So anything that is drawn can have a gradient. Okay, so to save this, it is automatically saved to your account. But to turn this in, you're going to hit the export of the box with an arrow pointing up. It has an SVG is the file type. We do not want a file type of SVG because that is an online file type. So drop down, you have PNG or JPEG. PNG is very similar to a JPEG. JPEG just includes your background color. So if you ever just want a picture without the background on it, then that's when you pick a PNG and you only have what you created in the screen. So either one is fine. Then you're going to hit download and you're going to turn that into Canvas along with these other tutorials I will show you next. So go ahead and stop this video and move on to the next one.